Hey guys, this is Eric from Figure Unboxing, and in this video we're going to take a look at Figma number 338, Lina from Dota 2. And again, I'm really happy with the direction where Good Smile Company is heading. They're going after the gaming industry, which is huge, and I feel like some of their IP selection has been pretty smart. They're making League of Legends, Overwatch, Dota 2, and as a gamer, I really appreciate that, and I feel like they're gonna attract a lot of new collectors. But unfortunately, the League of Legends line, I just didn't like the Yasuo, so I'm not sure if they're gonna continue with that. And for Overwatch, they're making Tracer right now. Like, we already got that on pre-order, and Genji should be coming out soon. But I really hope they can release that faster, though. I want the whole cast of Figma. I don't really care about the androids. They're doing a lot of that. Ugh. But for Dota 2, hopefully the line can do well and we can get at least 10 character so we can do some 5-on-5. But anyways, I think that's enough of me talking. Here's the left of the box, here is the right of the box, and here's the back of the box. And from what I've heard, Dota 2 seems to be doing okay. My only issue with the figure is that they don't have enough accessories. And this one does give you quite a lot of hands, but it also costs around like $70, and I'm not sure if you guys are comfortable with that, because for casual collector, that's a lot of money to spend. For me personally, I think it's quite normal for these figures to cost around $50 to like $80, and yeah, I mean, that's just me though. But anyways, that's enough of me talking, and let's bust this thing open and see what we got. And here we have the figures still in there in the packaging, and it looks great. But I kind of wish the whole Dota line could be a little bit bigger though, because I feel like their figure is on a smaller side, but that's not a big deal. And let's check out the figure itself. And here we have Lina Inverse right out of the box, and as expected from MaxFactory, the figure looks beautiful. In terms of paintwork and sculpt, it's a really nice figure. But like I mentioned earlier, I feel like these Dota figures are a little bit small. But I'm pretty sure they did this on purpose, so it's relatively easier for them to scale bigger characters if they decide to make them. But let's take a closer look at the figure. As you guys can see, it's beautiful. The paintwork is pretty clean for the most part. I do have some paint issues over here, but it's not too bad. Like, it's not a deal breaker, but you know, it's still not that acceptable for an expensive figure like this. But you know, I can get over it. For the most part, it looks good. And yeah, let's check out the articulation. And for the articulation, let's quickly go over there from the neck down. She can't really look up because of the hair, but she can look down about this much, and you can turn her head no problem. And the shoulder is on a standard ball joint. You can move around like that. Raise her arm up about this high, and you do have shoulder swivel, bicep swivel. You can curl about this much, and you do have the ball wrist. And for the ab crunch, you can bend her forward about this much, bend backwards about this much, and you can move side to side. And the hip is a little bit hindering because of the skirt piece. Even though these are on a softer material, I wish they could be just a tiny bit softer than this. But we do have one Figma joint over here for the lower skirt piece, like right here. And for the leg, you can kick up about this high. This part is on a softer material, and you can bend about this much, and you do have some side-to-side pivot and the toe hinge. And for Figma figures, you got to be really careful with you know, paint rubbing. Because when you're like moving around like all these like skirt pieces, if you accidentally like, you know, move her like leg like that or something and just touch it, you might chip off the paint. I've done that before and it sucks. But anyways, let's check out the accessories. And for the accessories, we can start with the default face, and I think they nailed the look. Funny that she doesn't come with any faceplate, but you do have the ability to change. So I'm pretty sure they had that in mind, and the engineering did it this way. I don't know why they didn't give it to us, but you know, whatever. And next up, we get Interchangeable Head, where she turns all fiery. And yeah, I love this. It looks very good. I love the translucent plastic. And I tried to remove the face and see if they're swappable, but this part seems to be glued in, and I'm not going to push it. And next up, we do get a rack of interchangeable hands. They're not too different, but I'm glad that they're giving us so many. And by the way, I forgot to talk about that. You can swivel her thighs in the articulation. Sorry about that. And for the interchangeable hands, these are the original hands she came with. And next up, we get a pair of, I'm not sure, they look very similar to the first pair. I guess more relaxed open hands, and these are more display open hands, I guess. And next up, we do get a pair of weapon holding hands, and these are very nice and tight. Some of the tighter ones I have experienced from Figma. I couldn't put this all the way in. And next up, we do get a pair of hands with pegs on them, and you can attach these on fire effect parts, and we do get 4 of them, and I believe they're sculpted differently so you can mix and match. And let's try these on. And here I have her assembled with the effect parts, and it looks great. And lastly, we get another pair of hands with pegs on, and I think these are just the same hands as the previous two, but with the pegs. And let's try the effect parts. And here I have her assembled with the effect parts, and I have to say, it looks pretty badass. But anyways, I think that's it for the accessories, and let's jump straight into the size comparison. And for the size comparison, let us start with NT Mage from the same series. And again, I feel like the Dota 2 figures are a little bit too small for my taste. But that said, if they're in scale with each other, I'm not going to complain. They look amazing together. And like I mentioned earlier, making the whole line smaller might make it easier for them to make relatively bigger characters. And hopefully the line can do well and we can see more. And yeah, let's move on. And next up, we have the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figures. And next up, we have Daredevil and Punisher from Mesca 112. And then we get SH Figuarts Street Fighters. And then we get some SH Figuarts Naruto figures. And then we have some American IP SH Figuarts. And next up, we have some recent Kamen Riders. And lastly, we have some Figma figures. And let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, I do highly recommend the figure, especially for those of you who are a big fan of Dota 2. You guys are gonna love it. It's got great articulation, amazing paintwork, good sculpt, and it does come with a fair amount of accessories. But that said, I do think the price is a little bit high for a casual collector. I personally pay $60 for it, but I usually buy in bulk, so my shipping cost is going to be relatively cheaper. And if you're just buying this figure, say from Amiyami, it's going to cost you around $80. And I do understand that it is really pricey, but I do think it's worth it though, especially if you never had a figure before. You're going to be surprised of what you're getting. But anyways, I think that's it from me. Do let me know in the comments on what you think. And this is Eric. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.